Hello and welcome one and all to the season opener of ORL Tier 1 this afternoon. I'm your host J-Man and it is lovely to be with you here for the Bahrain Grand Prix, the season opener. And if you just look at that timing screen next to you, yep, your eyes are not deceiving you. We have a full grid for the first race in Tier 1. How awesome is it? And while I say that, Zonix has just left, so I'm going to invite him back. But yeah, what an awesome start to this season to have a full grid out here on track for Tier 1. And based on some of the racing we've seen already in Tier 1, we should be very, very excited for what we're going to see tonight. I'm sure I am. And as the viewers start piling into the stream, it looks very nice and cloudy over the Bahrain track at the moment, and we've got plenty of heavy hitters. Most of the full-time drivers are in tonight, and particularly last week in the Mexico pre-season race, we got to see a titanic battle between Abyss OCE in the V-Carb and Geordie Slater in the Alpine. So hopefully we get to see them two do battle on track once again. And yeah, it's just such an exciting time to be in IRL with all 20 drivers lining up as well. We got a lot of drivers we haven't seen much of yet. Apokic and SV in particular, we haven't seen how those guys have gone in a race situation yet. Good to have Fat Ferret back as well. He did win a pre-season race, so he's definitely going to be contending as well. There's contending drivers really everywhere you look across up and down this grid. Obviously, we've got Aiden as well and Martin, who won a few races last season, and Taipan TJ was fantastic last week in Mexico. Had a great battle with Grateful Dog, and then you got Big Munry as well. So all these drivers have put in some really good pre-season performances. We do have a few new drivers as well. PRL Ladozi has just joined recently, so we haven't seen any of him yet. So that's going to be interesting to watch. And we're on board with Italian Ramen at the moment, who's one of the Williams full-time drivers. He did go undrafted, but I think correctly the new team principal of Williams, Apokic, did pick him up last week. And we're going to see how he goes in a lap around Bahrain. And we did have Tier 2 earlier this afternoon as well. A great win for SNF Wolf and Mercedes. I'm sure Lindsay's going to be really happy about the result that they've picked up today. And then there was two McLarens on the podium as well with Sparks and PS Bomber. So we'll see if Kuistra and FaZe Kane, who are both reserving for McLaren today, can follow up that McLaren performance, although it's going to be a tough task to live up to. As Italian run with a 28.6 through the first sector. And a big lock up there going through the middle sector for Italian Run, and that's going to hurt him a little bit on this banker lap. He hasn't used a lot of battery, so this might not be the most representative lap time for the Williams, and there's drivers scattered all over the track at the moment. Let's have a look and see what Fat Ferret's doing. He's a little bit further up in the lap. Actually, no, he's a little bit further behind in the lap, should I say. So we'll see how he goes. A Tier 1 driver of last season. Didn't really perform up to the standards that we expected, but so far in this game he's been fantastic. So as Kuistra puts in the first lap a 1:28.3, I'm sure we're going to see that blitzed. And while we do talk about lap times, I'm going to get some info up from the Tier 2 race just to give everyone a bit of an indication of what we're looking at this evening. Pole position in Tier 2 was set by Wolf. Ramen goes with a 1:28.3. Let's see what Fat Ferret can do crossing the line now. It's a 1:28.6. And Ladosi with a 1:28.7. Todd Syed comes in a little bit behind those. And then Big Munner with a 1:27.8. So pole position was set by Wolf with a 1:27.739. So I think we'll be looking for times a little bit faster, maybe towards the low 27s, maybe even a 26 could be possible with drivers like Abyss and Geordie hanging around. And we're going to have a look at SV here in the Aston Martin. He only got the game the other day, so we'll see how he goes here. He's obviously a little bit of a warming up period to F1 24. I'd say a bit more compared to most other games due to the large difference in driving and handling and that kind of thing. So Yeah, so SVYT making his way through the middle sector now. And we'll see how he goes for the Aston Martin team. Quite a few drivers have set laps already. Big Munro with a 5/10 gap in that lead at the moment. He'll be looking pretty comfortable with that at this stage. And we're already a third through qualifying at the moment. We're absolutely zipping through it. So, yeah, it's been a really impressive start. SVYT getting really close to the white lines there. Just using as much of the track as he can. And you see him flying through at the moment. Grateful Dog's gone up to P2 as well, so it is a Mercedes 1-2 at the moment. They did have a great outing in the pre-season race last week. Grateful Dog came P4 in the end. He had a great battle with Taipan TJ. And now SVYT to the line for his first lap. He's come into the pits, has he, or no? He's just ducked in for a bit of slipstream and he's gone second fastest. Didn't even use too much battery on that lap, and Abyss goes fastest with a 1:27.2, so that's what we're talking about. A really good lap from the RB there, and just showing once again how good he really is, and can he continue his form into the main season. He's picked up 3 P2s in all the pre-season races so far, has Abyss, so still finding that elusive win, but if there's any time to hit your straps, it is now. And in the meantime, the Aston Martin of Tatno has gone fastest to the 1:27.1, so that's a beautiful lap time from him. We haven't seen any of Tatno in the pre-season so far, so that's a real surprise early stages here. And now Martin coming into turn 1. And this turn 1 into turn 2, turn 3 chicane there is actually can be quite a difficult beast to handle at times. Probably one of the more difficult corners on this track. And you can see Martin really trying to gain every little inch of time he can find. We'll go on board with him here. As he looking for the first sector, 28.5. And just getting a little bit unsettled on that curb there. You've got to be a little bit careful. You can take a lot of curb in this game, but you've still got to be watchful because the odd curb can just send you flying on some occasions. So that's one to watch out for. And into the infamous turn 10, a very difficult corner in Bahrain now, ducking to the inside to get a slipstream from one of the Red Bulls there. I believe that is Glob Drip, or it might be Apex Dig actually. And now Martin making his way towards the end of the middle sector. So a big gap between the top two and the rest of the field at the moment. Tatno and Abyss leading the way. Geordie Slater's just come out on the track for the first time now, though, the two-time reigning champion. So that'll be really exciting to see what he can come up with. Martin now, it's around the final corner, all the way to the finish line with the DRS open. And it's not quite going to be good enough to get him right up to the pointy end, but it is a solid banker. It's going to put him in P5 with a 27.9, so no dramas there. Taipan TJ hasn't set a lap time either, but Apokic now towards the end of his lap. We haven't seen any of him yet. It's a lot of exciting unknowns here today. We're going to find out about a few of these drivers. So here goes Apokic to the final corner in the Williams. The new team principal looked a little bit unsettled there out of the final corner, but he straightens it up. Shouldn't hurt him too much. He crosses the line into P3 with a 1:27.6. Still 4/10 off Abyss in front of him, but those times are slowly starting to ramp up. And what about Apex Stig? There's drivers everywhere at the moment, and that's the beauty of a full grid. There's just action everywhere we look out on the track. And Apex Stig now is a new driver in Tier 1. He came up from Tier 2 last season, plenty of pace. Apex Stig and Zonix, two of the drivers who have come up and been promoted from Tier 2, which is really good to see. Hopefully they can make some inroads into this season. And Apex Stig, actually the new team principal of Red Bull as well, so good on him for taking that role on. And a lot of drivers seem to be just having little moments here. It is to do with the new game. That's why we've got a large variability in the time so far. I think about 2 seconds is spreading the field at the moment. And Apex Stig now to the line. It's looked a relatively tidy lap. It's not going to be up the pointy end, but it's going to go put him in P14 with a 28.7. And then Glob Drip, I think that was, just went up in a 10th. So let's have a look at Geordie Slater, the reigning champ. He's about to enter the final sector here. And he goes wide and off the track. So has that cost him a bit of lap time? He didn't get invalidated from it. So he can complete the lap if he wishes, and he's going to have another opportunity to run later in the session. But Geordie runs out nice and wide onto the curb there, crossing the line now. Geordie Slater is going to go to P6 for the 27.9, and then PRL Ladosi in the kick Sauber goes to 27.623, just 2 thousandths ahead of a Pocket. And if you're watching this at the moment, you're thinking we have a game on our hands, a race on our hands tonight, and that's exactly what we have. And I honestly can't wait to see what happens, because we've got so many just top quality drivers in this field, and this is definitely the strongest, easily the strongest ORL has ever been in terms of pacey drivers. So yeah, this is a real landmark day in Tier 1. What about Grateful Dog in the Mercedes, down in P11, a little bit lower than where you'd expect to be, making his way through the middle sector. And one thing to note as well, he's down 5/10 on his lap. A lot of drivers are using their ARS quite differently so far. So it's interesting. A lot of drivers using their DRS quite early on those 2 main straights, but a few also saving it for the end of the lap, as Grateful Dog aborts that one. It was a little bit slow. Kuistra made a slight improvement, but not enough to gain any positions. What about Apex Stig coming around? He's about to start a lap. Let's see what else is going on. We've got Tatno, who's improving again. Could he sneak into the 126s here? This would be fantastic. I believe I need to invite Zonix back once again. I will do that. Zonix. There. Alright, back to the action. Now Tatno, looking like a very good qualifier in the early stages. We've only seen him do 1 lap in this league, so really setting the tone. And he's up just under a 10th here, so he's going to need a bit of improvement in the final sector if he wants to get into those the magical 126 time here, which has become achievable in Bahrain, which is usually unheard of before F124. But here we go. Tatno to the line now. It looked pretty solid, but he's dropped. He has gone faster. It's not quite fast enough for the 126s, but it's a 127.06, and that's 2/10 ahead of Abyss OCE, who is starting his lap now. So is it going to be a bit of a trade here between the top two? So Abyss trying to hit back straight away with the DRS now down towards turn 4. What's the split time going to look like through the first sector? He's run a little bit wider there, and he's gone off the track, in fact. So that is his lap over Abyss OCE. Probably only going to get one more chance. Now, Taipan TJ, was that a slipstream? It wasn't from his teammate. It was from a Red Bull, actually. So we'll see what Taipan TJ can do here in the Alpine. And yeah, drivers across the field at the moment. The Williams drivers doing well, 5 and 6. At this stage, Geordie down in 8th and Martin down in 9th. So they're a little bit out of position compared to what we'd usually expect their pace to be. And then we've got a few drivers a bit lower down the field. Taipan TJ crossing the line with a 28.8. So that is down in P17 at the moment, a bit lower than what he'd want. Apex Stig is down in P16. And then Todd Side and FaZe Kane will be hoping for some improvements as well. But most drivers now in the pits. Not Martin, though. Martin is flying along. He's nearly out of battery for these final 2 straights. So he's got to have hoped that he's made a pretty good improvement at the start of the lap, because he's going to lose some time here. DRS open now. And what's he going to come up with? It looks pretty good. It's a P3, a 127.4 for Martin. And that is very nicely done by the Ferrari. So great lap from Martin. Anyone else on a lap here? Most of the drivers are gearing up for their final runs. Go to F1 in the Sauber. He's a full-time driver for Sauber. Ladosi is a reserve, but he's currently performing quite well in P5. So let's see what Go to F1 can do in that kick Sauber, the new brand for the Sauber team this season. Sonic's looking like he's having some internet troubles, unfortunately. He hasn't been able to get out on the track yet, which is a shame. But Go to F1 now through the middle sector. Can he find his way into the top 10 here? A really, really competitive field at the moment. It's a 2.5 tenth gain. He's looking at around the P11 area at the moment. He's going to need to find a bit of time here if he's going to work his way up into that top 10. And now around the final corner goes go to F1. And the run to the line. This might be one of his last runs for the session. And he's improved, but he lost time in that final sector, so no position gain for him. And now the big heavy hitters coming out on track, so this is going to be good to see. I think Martin is going to come into the pits quickly. He's got to be quick if he wants to get back out there in time. Let's see if we can catch a driver about to start a lap. Geordie Slater in the early stages. There's a McLaren, I believe, about to start a lap. I think that's Kuistra. Yes, it is. Let's have a look at Kuistra in P12 with 2 minutes left in qualifying. And Martin's retired in the pits as well, so he didn't get enough time to come back out. So 1:27.4 is the best he'll be able to do in P3. So he'll be watching along nervously. There's a lot of drivers in this field that are capable of beating that. Kuistra takes quite a tight line through there and doesn't really let his car run too wide either, and he's down a little bit through this first sector, so trouble signs early on for the McLaren. So let's look up the field a little bit as Globdrip has retired as well. Who's going to be the first of the leaders to start their final lap? I think it's going to be Geordie Slater here with 1:20 left. So we're going to watch the Alpine here to see what he can do. He's got 9 tenths to gain to get to that pole position. I'm just going to quickly invite Zonix one more time before we get to the conclusion of this qualifying session. And away we go. Geordie Slater down the main straight, I should say. Sorry, got my words in a jumble there. Geordie with a little bit of a snap, it looked like, into turn 1 there. And now makes his way through. DRS open. This first sector time is going to be very important. Apokic goes second fastest in the Williams at 1:27.1. That's a great lap time. Abyss moves down to P3. What's Geordie got? This is now or never for Geordie. If he doesn't get this lap right, and he is down through the first sector, if he doesn't get it right, he might be out of position here, which is extremely rare for a driver of his caliber. He's usually starting on pole or towards the top 3 or 4 every race. So this could be a real shock here if he can't find some really good time towards the end of the lap here. We're really building up to the climax of qualifying here. Pretty much every driver is on the track or on a lap. Geordie Slater. Now, what's he done through this middle sector? He needs to find something. He needs to just put everything on the line here, because starting this slow down the field could just put him out of race contention. He is up a 10th, but he needs a lot more than that. He's 9 tenths off pole position at the moment. Ladosi in the kick. Sauber has gone P4 with a 27.36. Grateful Dog will finish no higher than 10th place. Geordie Slater now around the final corner. What's he got? What's the championship, the reigning champion, got? Can he improve? He crossed the line. It's going to be P5 for Geordie Slater. He found a lot of time towards the end there. What about Abyss? He's up. Can he snatch pole position here? Abyss, what a lap this would be with DRS open. And he crosses the line, and he's done it in the 126s. Abyss OCE. Tatno's pulled out of his lap. Can Apokic? No, he's done. Abyss, I think, has pole position here. SVYT crossing the line now. And it's going to be P5. He knocks down Geordie Slater to P6. What about Big Munry now? Crossing the line for Mercedes. And I think one of the last drivers to finish this lap. Here he goes, a 1:27.7. Puts him in P8. But Abyss, what a lap in the RB, right in the nick of time to take pole position off Tatno. A surprise contender. And Abyss just by a 10th. What an incredible lap that was. What a qualifying session we've seen here in ORL. And this race is going to be absolutely fantastic, I suspect. Oh, wow. What a great session. Tatno, unfortunately, didn't get that lap right. Must have made a mistake somewhere. And Zonix, unfortunately, didn't get a lap in at all. Had some internet issues. But yeah, so that's your top 10. Abyss, P1. The RB, it's an RB sandwich, the field at the moment. with Abyss in first and Zonix in P20. Coistra has just left, so got them back. Yeah, Tatno in P2, Apokic in P3. Apokic's looking quick as well. Ladosi, a new driver. So Tatno and Ladosi, two new drivers we've never seen before, have come second and fourth. And then SVYT fifth, Geordie Slater sixth. This is just an incredible watch at the moment. I hope everyone's enjoying this as much as I am at the moment. And what a race we have got in store. As I said, the top six, then Martin in seventh as well. Munry eighth, Italian Ramen ninth, and Grateful Dog 10th to round out the top 10. So many quality drivers in this field, and this is the pinnacle of RRL from what we've seen so far. And then a little bit further down, Coistra, 11th, Goated F1. Both had a pretty solid qualifying. And then Taipan TJ's down in 19th, so a bit out of position for him. And Apex Stig as well, 18th. Zonix, 20th, will be looking to make their way up the field. So as we build up to the season opener, this is going to be an unbelievable season it's looking like at the moment. So many heavy hitters, so many drivers that can win races. Abyss is still looking for his first win at RRL. He's come second in every race he's competed in. But is today the day? An incredible lap to get in pole position. We'll see what can happen from here. The drivers picking their strategies as well. What we did see in the Tier 2 race was a little bit of a variable strategy. We saw a couple drivers go on the 2-stop, a couple go on the 1-stop. And yeah, there is a problem. There's a weird glitch with Bahrain where you actually can't change to a 1-stop strategy, but obviously you can just ignore that and do it anyway. But yeah, PS Bomber was the driver of the day in Tier 2, and he was on a 2-stop strategy and just came absolutely flying back through the field and finished P3 at the end. So fantastic race. So maybe the 2-stopper is the go if you do have the pace for it. Otherwise, I think it might be a 1-stopper. So here we go. We're counting down to the season opener for Tier 1. And it has never been better. It's never looked better, the grid at the moment. We've got a full grid, all 20 drivers here for ORL Tier 1. And we are underway for the first time this season. A great start for Abyss OCE. Moves straight into the lead. Down the inside is Ladosi, and Apokic as well is trying to get past Tatno around the outside into turn 1. And Tatno just holds that inside line, and Geordie Slater's gotten past Ladosi, but a little bit of a snap there. So Ladosi's allowed back through, and they're wheel-to-wheel, the kick and the Alpine for P4 and 5 here. And then Munry as well, just holding off Martin there behind. And Geordie down the inside. Is he going to hold the position? And he has only just. He's still there. Martin and Munry bumping wheels. Munry's still holding that position, but Martin down the inside bumps Munry off the track. And it's still wheel-to-wheel between these two. There's a spin at the back. I believe it's Grateful Dog, Glob Drip, and Aiden have all had issues. And they're 3 wide here. SV, Martin and Munry. Martin holds the position, and right into the back of each other they go. A little bit of bumping there. Looks like they were able to all avoid wing damage there, but Martin up into 6th. And then Munry, SVYT's had a poor start. Coistra's out. And I'm not sure where that happened. And it looks like he might have just retired on track, actually. So I don't think it was from an incident. But Abyss OCE's pulled out a 7/10th gap, I should say. And Tatno is just hanging on to P2 here from Apokic, who's putting some good pressure on at the moment. And I think someone lagged out of the session, so I'm going to have to invite someone back in a moment. But in the meantime, the top 4 all really tight here as we get to the end of lap 1. Abyss OCE holding a 7/10th gap here. Apokic as Tatno moves to the inside to prevent the overtaking move there. So a really good start there for Abyss OCE. Let's get the tyres up and have a look at what's going on. So quite a few drivers starting on the soft tyres. That's why they've gotten the better start. The DRS Open on lap 2 here. might I add, with the new rules. So Aiden and Grateful Dog into the pits for a wing change. And that's going to hurt their races. Zonic's already up into 13th, making moves really early on here as well. Let's have a look a little bit further down now. SVYT hasn't had his best start down in P8. And off the track goes FaZe Kane into the wall, and he's retired from the race. And that's a virtual safety car. And 10 seconds for Apex Stig with a collision with Munry. And does Munry have a wing? Big Munry needs an invite. Okay. So we've got the virtual safety car. Yep, so there we go, all sorted, VSC. So both McLarens out on the first 2 laps of the race, which is the complete contrast to what we saw in the first race with a P2 and 3. And Italian Ramen's picked up a 10-second penalty for ignoring yellow flag there, and Tatno has left the session. So we've got a lot of lagging issues here, unfortunately, with this new game. So just try and make sure they all get back in. And Abyss is coming to the pits. So what's happened here? Martin in the pits as well. Is it a wing change or is this strategic? It looks like a strategy call, and the hard tyres are coming on to that RB. What about Martin? Medium tyres coming on. So that's really interesting stuff here. VSC still going. Oh no, sorry, it's a full safety car. It says VSC, but there is a safety car out on track. So my apologies for that, but it's a bit of a technical glitch there. So that's definitely why they came into the pits then. Apex Stig serving a 10-second penalty. That safety car helps him get rid of that penalty. I think Italian Ramen has a 10-second also. So yeah, Tatno in the lead of this race, then Apokic, Geordie Slater, Ladosi, all on medium tyres. Goated F1's up to 5th, so he's had a really good start, but everyone down from 13th has made a pit stop. I'd say a bit early to make a pit stop on the 3rd lap of the race, but Abyss obviously knows what he's doing, so I'm not going to question it too much. Grateful Dog with a 10-second for exceeding track limits. Not sure how that happened, but should be able to get that removed from the pits. So the game still says VSC, but there is in fact a safety car out there, and there's been a massive lag back for someone. Apokic is down in 9th now, so not sure what happened there. But Geordie Slater's picked up another position, and in the meantime we will look at the position changes. Yeah, 8 positions up for Goated F1, so great start for the Saubers. Really fantastic at the moment. Taipan TJ up 11 from P19 and Zonic's up 10 from P20. So a few drivers are just managing to find their way through the field where there has been chaos. And Apokic down 6. He was in 2nd, and now he's just lost a bit of his front wing. He's hit the back of Taipan TJ there. And I suspect that Apokic's going to have to come in, and a couple more drivers have come in actually. And the Williams of Italian Ramen and Fat Ferret. So I think they might have picked up some damage from that as well, possibly. There's a bit of a hold up at the final corner there. Italian Ramen's getting rid of his penalty, but Fat Ferret had a wing change, I believe. So that hurts a little bit. A lot of drivers are just getting a few incidents that are just throwing them out of position. Apokic has wing damage, so I'm very surprised that he hasn't come into the pits. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe I was looking at the wrong driver, because it looks like the end plate's intact from that angle. Ah, there you go. Maybe I was seeing things. But I definitely did see an end plate going somewhere. So there you go. All right. Safety car should be in at the end of this lap. Everyone's caught up to the field. Taipan now up 13 places, so what a race start it's been for the Alpines. They're 2nd and 4th now. SV's gone back up to 5th. So the Aston Martins 2 and 5, and the Saubers 3 and 4. So 3 teams all occupy the top 6, which is a very rare sight for ORL. And then you've got Zonix, who's come up to P8. Abyss just behind him, P11. It's going to be a really interesting restart. Safety car in this lap. It's going to be Tatno leading us away, the new driver in the league. Driving my Aston Martin team, which is very impressive so far. Dead Heat says up the Saubers, and they are doing a fantastic job. Go to F1, finding himself at a great spot in P4. Look at all the weaving we're seeing from all the cars here. We're really trying to get the heat into those tyres. We are going to go back to the tyres. As when's Tatno going to go? Looks like he has gone. Oh, he's getting hit by the limiter. Got to be careful. Safety car wasn't in yet. Now we're off, and there's a bit of a hold-up. But that's a poor start for Tatno. Geordie might be able to snatch the lead right off here, and Ladosi's looking interested as well. Let's have a look here. Geordie to the inside, and Ladosi as well. Just avoided. No, didn't avoid wing damage. Just wing damage for a few drivers, it looks like. Ladosi with an end plate missing. Taipan looks to have avoided it. He's up at a P3, so Tatno lost 3 places off the restart there. And now, Taipan, can he try and get down the inside of Ladosi? Go to F1 as well, getting past Tatno and the Aston Martin, and Big Munry as well. So what's happened to the Aston Martin here? All the way down in P6. Doesn't look to have damage. Apokic still does. And now down the inside goes Taipan. TJ on Ladosi. They're wheel to wheel. And SVYT's retired. And now down the inside goes the Sauber. Taipan tries to go the long way around. He runs off the track and gets a 10-second penalty. That looked harsh. And Geordie's in the lead of this race. And Taipan's lost a few places now. Big Munry makes his way through into 4th. And the Saubers now up into 2 and 3. Geordie Slater with a 1.3 second lead as well. So yeah, I'm not sure what happened to SVYT. Looks like he's retired just on there. It's just before turn 10, it looks like. And Tatno has dropped all the way down to 14th from the lead. So this has been a very poor restart for the Aston Martins. But let's see what Ladosi can do here. He's a reserve driver, but he's driven fantastically well so far. Go to F1 on his hammer. Geordie Slater has nearly pulled out a 2-second gap. And DRS now enabled. Abyss is quite a ways behind in P9. So has Geordie had a strategic master stroke. Ladosi has wing damage. So that is going to hurt the Sauber there. And yep, Mickey, you are right. Yep, one safety car in Tier 1 is already more than we had in Tier 2 today. And Ladosi is going to be really lacking downforce here, so Goated F1 is going to be all over the back of him. And hopefully they figure this out because they don't want to hold each other up too much. Geordie Slater is running away in the foreground there. And Zonix all the way up to 6 as well. So there's a lot of interesting stories in this race so far. And yeah, real surprise, the performance of the two Saubers here. Goated F1 is extremely close. What happened there? He's gone off into the wall, and now he's got damage. Both the Saubers have wing damage. Munry's gone into P3, and now down the inside goes Taipan TJ into P4. The Alpine making advantage of that mistake. Zonix around the outside, Goated F1. Zonix has got that spot also. And Apokic and Martin and Abyss in a three-way battle. Abyss gets past Martin. And now trying to take on Apokic. This is a very good battle between these three in the midfield. Abyss just going to stay behind for the moment. And there's a lot of drivers that are running with wing damage at the moment. They're just going to take it. And Apokic has come in, I think, to finally get that wing damage served. Abyss with the fastest lap up into P7. So still quite a few seconds behind Geordie Slater, but enough to make him sweat. And look at this train that Abyss is about to come up on. Ladosi is holding everyone up. And Apokic has retired in the pit lane, it looks like. And a 10-second for Martin for a severe collision with Todd's side. So a lot of penalties going around today as well, which is interesting. There's a big DRS train, as I mentioned. Ladosi's leading it, and Geordie's able to pull away as a result. So we've had 4 DNFs in this race. 16 drivers remain. And this is, yeah, so Abyss now on the back of this DRS train. How is he going to negotiate this? We know he's probably got more pace than everyone in this train. But it's going to be a bit of work here. As you can see, it's with all these drivers in front, it's going to be a struggle. And Ladosi does have the lower downforce with that wing damage, which means it's going to be very difficult to overtake on the straights as well, even with DRS. But we'll see what Munry can do here. Munry looking to take P2 off Ladosi here, who's clutching onto it with everything he has. Goated F1 picks up a 3-second. That is going to hurt his race. And Abyss has made it through on Goated F1 as well, down the inside. And a big slide from Taipan. And Abyss is able to sneak his way through. And a big cut to the inside for Ladosi, trying to defend this position with everything. He has this P2 is very important to him. Zonix is just behind as well. Grateful Dog has retired out of the final corner. So is that going to cause a safety car? And Tatno as well has retired from the race. And wheel to wheel goes Zonix and Ladosi. Big Munry into second. Ladosi's down to fourth. That defending of P2 has ended for now. And now down the inside goes Abyss. Should be able to make this move stick with the damage that Ladosi has. But Ladosi's not letting him go easily. He's going to keep the car in there. And Abyss just has a little bit of a challenge here. But he does get through into P4. And now it's a RB 3 and 4. And Tatno and Grateful Dog have both retired there. So unfortunate for them too. And yeah, so really heating up here. This DRS train is just ever growing. You can see Geordie there in the front and all the other drivers trying to chase. Zonix is started in 20th. Now he's third. What a comeback this has been from Zonix so far. And have the RBs pulled off a bit of a masterstroke here in this race. Both the Saubers in 5th and 7th still have wing damage. They haven't come in to fix it. A great exit from Abyss there. Zonix is just going to not fight that one too hard. Knows that Abyss has the pace. And it's going to be about a 5-second gap between Geordie and Abyss when Abyss inevitably makes this move on Big Munry. And here we go. Abyss down the inside makes the move into P2. And apparently we've got some issues here with DNFing. I will have a look at that right now. I think it has happened to a couple drivers getting kicked from the lobby as well. So how many drivers have DNF'd as a result of that? I think I might have to call a restart here possibly. Just don't quote me on that for now. Alright, I'm going to call a red flag. Yep, that's a red flag if anyone racing is hearing me at the moment, so please DNF. And I think we're going to go from quality results, but we have to probably shorten the race because we've lost half an hour. Shorten the race to 35%. Let's make a new lobby. I'm going to pause the stream for a few minutes. Bear with us for a moment while we get this race started. We'll be right back shortly. Alright, we're back. F1 24 once again. Just showing us why it's such a awesome game. Oh, and I forgot to change the time of day. Oops. That's alright. We can deal with that. Well, hopefully the game works. Because it's been a really good, qualifying was a brilliant spectacle. So I think having a good race would be very fitting for it as well. So hopefully we do get something of the like. Obviously giving everyone a minute to get their setups. I should say that actually. Get the strategies back together. We have shortened the race to 20 laps, so to make up for the lost time. Chances are a few drivers did forget, so hopefully you're not one of those. But here we go for the second time this afternoon in Tier 1. We are lights out and away again. A great start for Abyss again, and Tatno another poor start with Tyler Bain going around the outside into P2. And Tatno does hold the inside line though. Geordie Slater just goes down the inside there, but nothing doing. And now Tyler Bain holding that spot from Tatno. And he's able to do it nicely. Tatno just lagged back massively there. And Geordie up into P3. So Italian Ramen and Goated F1, P5 and P6. Parallel Ladosi up into P4. And Big Munry is struggling towards the back there as well. Not sure what happened to him. So the Mercedes having some issues. Oh, he's had a spin, has Big Munry. And a little bit of fighting towards the back of the pack here. We go up towards the front. Abyss with a 6/10 lead over Tyler Bain and Geordie Slater. So the top three looking really good at the moment. Williams there ran wide of Italian Ramen. Comes back onto the track ahead of Martin there. So all looking okay at this stage. All the drivers still in the race. Looking to grab some points. And yeah, so Abyss not having as strong of a start as he did on the first attempt. As Tyler Bain is right with him. We are in the Bahrain sun, so it is pretty warm out on the track there at the moment. And the first lap is going to be completed here with Abyss holding position. Tyler Bain, Geordie Slater and Ladosi have gapped Goated F1 there. So the Saubers are doing well again on their return. Martin comes into the pits. There's a huge crash towards the back. There's a Red Bull involved. Glob Drip, and it's the two Red Bull teammates that have crashed. And wow, what a moment in the race. Glob Drip and Apex Stig, the two Tier 1 teammates, have crashed and have practically ended their races. There's a safety car out, and that is going to be a big talking point. Both the Red Bulls taking each other out at the final corner. And let's take a look at the tyre situation. Martin's pitted onto, pretty much everyone started on softs. Martin on the medium tyres. And then Apex Stig, Big Munry, and Glob Drip. So safety car out here. Glob Drip's left the session. I'll invite him back. And Big Munry's retired, it seems, on the track. And I'm going to have to go on pause for a short moment. I'll be right back. So a lot of drivers have come in for the hard tyres here, except for Tyler Bain, Todd Side and Coistra. And Martin's on the medium tyres. A lot of people forgot their setups, apparently. I'm just trying to deal with it at the moment while the safety car's out. Okay. So safety car, we're on lap 4 out of 20 here. And we are going to continue this race, so no restart for now. Lap 4 out of 20, a short race. It's going to be a sprint here. And a lot of drivers are just going to run those hard tyres to the end. And as we mentioned, just a lot of problems with the F1 game at the moment, unfortunately, that are hindering the racing experience, sadly. But yeah, we're just going to have to live with that in the early stages. Unfortunately, we are obviously running about 30 minutes late on the race. We can't really restart for getting a couple of people forgetting their setups. So should be an interesting finish here though. Tyler Bain leading this race and the top 3 required to pit. So are those soft tyres going to have enough juice in them to give them an advantage here? Safety car coming in this lap. Let's see what happens. It's all in the hands of Tyler Bain now. When is Tyler Bain going to take off here? That's the big question. He's left it quite late. And away he goes now. What was the reaction like for Todd Side? There's a Mercedes of Grateful Dog who was wide on the inside there. Abyss now making his way through to P4. And maybe making another move here into P3 down the inside. Gets it done, does he? A little bit of contact with Todd's side there. Coistra through into second as well. A lot of overtaking on this restart here towards the front of the field. And Coistra up into second place. Down the inside goes Abyss again, pressuring the soft tyre runner of Todd's side. This is a great little battle here. They're going wheel to wheel through the first sector. And now Abyss has that inside line and has the move done into P3 goes. And now Geordie Slater trying to follow him through. Still wheel to wheel now. Todd's side defending for his life here at the moment. But Geordie outside cuts underneath him. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Geordie Slater, a little bit of bumping and Todd's side has to run off. And looks like Geordie has taken that P4. And now Ladosi getting interested and really close to the inside of Todd's side. And looks like he might be able to get this one done as well. Todd really defending hard here. It's a good fight from him. But it looks like he might come unstuck here. Ladosi now down the inside. Great battling. Here he goes. The Sauber down the inside. And a really good piece of battling between those two to brighten up our afternoons a little bit. Coistra trying to take the lead off Tyler Bain here as well. Good speed from McLaren. And what a start for Coistra. He was right back towards the back of the field on the restart. And now we have DRS enabled as we enter lap 6. We're already flying through the laps here late on. Fat Ferret, Italian Ramen has to come into the pits. Fat Ferret's all the way down in 14th, a little bit out of position. As well as SVYT is down in 17th. And now Grateful Dog. Ladosi's had a moment there. Out of turn 1 it looks like. He's lost about 3 places. Now wheel to wheel with Taipan TJ. And that's Apex Stig retiring in the pit lane. And a big snap there for the Ferrari of Todd. And Ladosi, and it's a safety car, a virtual safety car. So I'm not sure if that was caused by the retirement of Apex Stig there, or something else. Or Globdrip has lost his wing, so it could have been because of that. But do Tyler Bain and Coistra pit under this VSC is the big question. Because they are going to have to pit eventually. Are those hard tyres going to make it to the end as well? So yeah, Tyler Bain in the lead of the race, Coistra and then Abyss. Geordie's made his way up to P4 as well. And we are back green again here. Who's got the good restart? Abyss is right on the back of Coistra, who's right on the back of Tyler Bain as well. So the soft tyres look to be hurting a little bit for the drivers up front. As we come through towards the end of the lap here, Globdrip in the pits. Looks like he's probably going to get lapped here, which is going to probably spell the end of his race quite early on. And let's look here. A lot of drivers now coming down the main straight. DRS open for Coistra, who's probably not going to gain enough here on Tyler Bain. But Geordie Slater and Todd's side going back at it. Todd's trying to make his way back at Geordie Slater, putting the challenge to him. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough there. Grateful Dog now trying to take advantage of this opportunity. DRS is trying to go around the outside of the Ferrari here. Tatno looking interested as well around the back, and a snap for Todd around the outside goes Grateful Dog, and he's around his Todd, and he's got to be careful. It looks like he's gotten out of the way just, but as he picked up some damage here, around goes Fat Ferret. He might have been caught up in that, and yeah, lost an end plate has Todd there, so not completely off scot-free. But yeah, Abyss has dropped a couple seconds now to the front two, and Tatno down the inside of Grateful Dog gets that P5. And they're still wheel to wheel here. Grateful Dog with a better exit around the outside there. So they're still going wheel to wheel. They both have DRS. Grateful Dog inching ahead, but Tatno holding the inside. Who's going to get the better exit here? Tatno trying to find his way around the outside, and it looks like Grateful Dog's got that move back. So nicely done. Back into P5 in the Mercedes. And yeah, Tyler Bain still leading the way from Coistra. Coistra showing some really good pace in this race, the second of the races we've had tonight. And Coistra now sets the fastest lap of the race as well. So they're dropping the guys behind at the moment. And SVYT is retired. Looks like it's on the track. Is that going to cause a safety car possibly? Let's have a look. No, it looks to be all right. So race continues. And yeah, SVYT out of the race. So down to 16 drivers remaining. Aiden is making some moves here in the midfield. He started lower down the field. The two Sours have dropped a little bit also. Aiden making his way through on Ladosi here. And nicely done. The two Sours have been joints at the hip pretty much all race long. But now they're down in P10 and 11th, just scrapping for points. And Goated F1 has a go at his teammate. And it looks like he's made the move. Nicely done. A little bit further up, Zonix and Taipan going wheel to wheel. Taipan just ahead of Zonix there in P6. And the Alpines and the RBs seem to always be near each other on the track here in Tier 1 at the moment. But yeah, Taipan holding that position for now. The big question is, when are Tyler Bain and Kuistra going to pit? Tyler Bain looks like he's dropped Kuistra. Grateful Dog's lost a few positions. Has he had a moment? Looks like he has avoided damage at least, but must have had a snap of some sort. Now down at a P12, unfortunately for him. A bit of a train here forming in the midfield once again. And Abyss looks to slowly be gaining as, yep, both Tyler Bain and Kuistra are into the pits. Zonix, we try and get back into the session once again. Yep, so Abyss now inherits the lead of the race, and Tyler Bain and Kuistra coming out in 12th and 13th, or just about even lower than that. So a long, long way to go. Did not pitting under the safety car cost them there, because I'm not sure they're going to be able to make up enough in 11 laps to catch Abyss and Geordie Slater, who are 1 and 2, and then Tatno just behind him, P3. Really coming after the Alpine now. So it's even Stevens between the top 8 in terms of tyres. And unfortunately, Zonix with that lag out has dropped quite a few places. So let's see. This is the battle for P2. Tatno with DRS. Geordie with a great exit though. And should be able to hang on to that position. As we look a little bit further back, the two Saubers still going at it. Ladosi's gotten back ahead of Goated at F1. And Aiden's just in front of both of them. And Aiden's made his way back up to P5. If we have a look at the position changes, it's been pretty significant, I'd say. Yep. Aiden has gone up 12 places. Taipan up 7 again. So he's just been a overtaking machine. As in the meantime, Tatno gets past Geordie Slater into P2. And Taipan's gained significantly on these two also. So this could be an interesting battle. Can Geordie get Tatno back here down the main straight? Tatno moves to the inside, but doesn't move all the way. Does give Geordie the room. And now he does move into P2. Nicely done. Taipan had a look. And a bit of contact made, and the position was gained. And now DRS open. Taipan just flickering. And Tatno into P3, nicely done. And now Ladosi and Aiden again. Ladosi was gaining there, but Aiden holds on to that position. There's an incident. I think it's Italian Ramen who's had a moment. Yep. And Todd Sides in the pits as well. So Abyss has a 5-second lead at the moment. Really strong at the moment. And, oh, Tatno having a look down the inside of Geordie there. But, yeah, got close. Taipan now. And it's a good 3-car battle. It's the Aston Martin of Tatno in the Alpine sandwich. Got to be a lot of pressure on him at the moment. And this battle between the Kicks and Aiden at the moment is also developing really nicely. So these battles up front are really looking good as Zonix and Kuistra go at it. Zonix making the move on Kuistra on older tyres. So very impressive move from him. As we go back up to this battle, Taipan TJ just sitting behind. And is there going to be a bit of teamwork between Taipan and Geordie here? Geordie ducks to the inside. Is it going to be a pit stop maybe? No, he stays out. Yeah, it looked like he was aiming to the pits there, but here goes Taipan to make the move on Tatno as Glob Drip retires. They're about to go 3 wide here. The two Alpines of the Aston Martin. Taipan does get that move on Tatno into P3. They manufactured that well, the Alpine drivers, and Taipan onto the podium. Again here, just like last week in the pre-season race. And it looks like Abyss might be able to pick up that maiden win this time. In P1 at the moment by a comfortable 7 seconds. Which is, it's been an incredible performance from him. And yeah, Tatno just behind is trying to get past Type N TJ as Martin comes into the pits here. So I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's down in 13th now. Let's see, what can Tatno do to fight back here? With the DRS, Type N has it as well though. Type N moves to the inside, but Tatno tries to hold the outside and tries to sweep around. And unfortunately, there's not enough grip there for him to do that. And has to stay behind for the moment. Type N is using the DRS from his teammate Geordie Slater here. This would be a great result for Alpine if they can both finish on that podium. Yeah, but this is a really exciting battle here, and it bodes really well for the rest of the season, especially in this fight between Abyss and Geordie Slater that we've talked about much of last week for. And the DRS open for Tatno. He doesn't really use much of the slipstream here. Maybe he's just trying to hold that position and wait for a better opportunity. As we look further back, Aiden, who is up for 12 places in this race, is now hanging on to that 5th. Ladosi and Goated still trying to find a way through. Grateful Dog has Tyler Bain chasing after him on those new tyres. Fat Ferret has retired now. So Tyler Bain could still find himself back in this race. Coistra has gotten past Zonix as well into P10. So Tyler Bain and Coistra on those new tyres, could they? How far up can they get is the big question, as they were holding that lead for a long while. Tatno again, really close to Type N TJ. Been a great battle here between these two. And now DRS opens for Tatno. Does he have enough here without Geordie's help here for Type N? It looks like he's just going to be able to hang on. And we are quickly approaching the end of this race here. It is a 35%er on lap 12 out of 20. So we still have no idea how this one's going to finish. But Abyss OCE, we do know, is absolutely flying away. So now we go down the main straight here, entering lap 13. This time Tatno's really close. What about Type N? He could make a move on Geordie, but it looks like they're just playing the team game here, playing strategic. And Tatno not really using that much battery either. Ladosi making a move on Aiden in the Haas. So a big move for the Sauber there. Tatno and Type N now wheel to wheel out of turn 1, turn 2. And Tatno has the inside here and the run. A great exit for him. And now down the inside, Geordie trying to help out again here. And he does block Tatno, but has he accidentally opened the door for him? Thankfully not at this stage, but this is really interesting battling between these three here. Geordie trying to help out his teammate as best he can. And now Tatno's trying to have a go at Geordie around the outside. That would be bold. Geordie cuts that off and says, no, you have to go around the outside if you want to get past. And that's exactly what he does. Is it going to work for Tatno? He's right there on Geordie Slater. And it looks like Geordie has some end plate damage, actually. So that could really hurt him. You can see the battle behind starting to catch up. Tatno now trying to go around the outside of Geordie. He's going to have a bit better downforce here, because Geordie does have that damage, but Type N TJ's found a way to get back past, and now they're wheel to wheel again. Somehow these guys are all facing the right way. This racing is incredibly close and intense right now. They are fighting for these podium places. What's Tatno going to do here? What's Type N going to do here? We're going to watch from his perspective, because, he could have gone 3 wide if he wanted to. Look how much he has to slow down to avoid hitting Tatno and Geordie here. And Tatno just stays behind. Geordie ducks to the inside. Type N's got a really good run, though. They could go 3 wide again here. Look at Ladosi as well gaining. This could turn into a 4 or 5 car battle at the moment. And it looks like Type N's gotten back past Type N down the inside of his teammate as well. Or is that Geordie? And now Tatno goes through both of them. What a move by Tatno into turn 1. Into P2 he goes. And that was really nicely manufactured. Now Ladosi over. And Aiden has gone through as well. Look at all the cars just joining in on this battle. And Geordie's having a go back at Tatno again. And it looks like Tatno's held that position. And now Aiden has made his way up into P4. Type N all the way down to P6 after that. He's lost about 3 places in in a couple of sets of corners. A big slide. But look, there's about 7 cars in the space of about 50 metres, I'd say. Tyler Bain has caught up to this battle as well. So P2 is well and truly on the cards for him. This is well and truly game on. And now Aiden and Ladosi going at it again. They've been going at it pretty much all race long here. And now with the DRS, it doesn't look like he's going to get through on this occasion. And Tyler Bain now is asserting himself on this race down the inside of Taipei TJ. Taipei fighting hard. And there's a yellow in Sector 1. It looks like Italian Ramen again. And Tyler Bain still trying to find a way through. Now to the inside he goes. And they go really off the racing line here. And Taipei really defending this one hard. And, oh, he's had a huge snap as Taipei. Italian Ramen's out. And Tyler Bain through into P6. So game on for him here. And now Geordie Slater with the DRS. He's going to make a move back on Tatno. Look at the speed he's got. Is he going to have a go into turn 1? Yes, he is. He's going to have a go. And there's contact. They bump into each other. Tatno's now got wing damage as well. And Geordie holds that P2. Aiden now into P3 on the podium places. He's gained 14 spots. Can he make it 15 around the outside of Geordie Slater? Here he goes, the Haas. And he's trying to find a way through. He can't. There's a bit of contact from Tatno there. I think that disrupted him a little bit. And now he's through into P3. Taipei TJ into 4th, and Tyler Bain's left the session. So we're just going to take a quick break from that and get him back as quickly as possible. In the meantime, Geordie Slater's got that P2 back. So now both Geordie and Tatno have wing damage, really holding up this pack a little bit. But Aiden and Ladosi in the game now. So let's see what happens. Well, let's just take a deep breath here with 5 laps to go. Really good spectacle we're seeing towards the end of this race. And look at these 4, just separated by all under a second between the 4 of them. They are so close at the moment. And here we go. We're heading down the back straight. Geordie holding this lead, and Tatno and Aiden just behind. Taipei's a little bit further back. Unfortunately, Tyler Bain lost a bit of time with that lag out, so that's going to cost him. And here we go down the main straight. Tatno again against Geordie. This has been feisty between these two. And here we go again. Geordie weaving, trying to hang on. Down the inside goes Tatno. Aiden going to go around the outside. And Geordie switches back to the inside and rams right into the side of the Aston Martin. And that wasn't the best display of racecraft I've ever seen, but Tatno's going to come right back at Geordie Slater. And now Aiden round the outside again. Tatno trying to hold that position. It's desperate times at the moment. Geordie outbreaks himself a little bit. Opens the door back for Tatno. And now a little bit of contact again. And now Martin's out of the session as well. And Aiden nearly slammed into the side of him. But holding that position is Tatno for P3 at the moment. And Tyler Bain out of this race as well, unfortunately. He looks like he's crashed on the track there. So had a moment there, and that's probably cost him a few points in the end. But yeah, lap 16 out of 20. This battle has been enormous between these 4 cars. It's been up to even 5 or 6 at times as Goated F1 makes his way through on Taipei TJ, who switches back underneath him. A nice little move there. And now we're going to go back to this battle, because this has just been everything so far. Who is going to take the podium positions? We still don't know. Somehow Geordie and Tatno are holding on here. But Aiden and Ladosi, it seems like a matter of time. And now with the DRS open, Geordie has a little bit more of an advantage than he did previously. But Tatno's still gaining. He's going to go around the outside. And Aiden sort of wanted to go there, but he's been cut off a little bit. Geordie has outbraked himself again. That wing damage really not helping. Now Aiden is trying to make his way through into P3, and it looks like he has. What's Geordie going to do to respond here? Aiden trying to go get both of them here, and is he able to do it? Not quite. Tatno's held that spot, and Aiden versus Geordie again through the middle sector, and Geordie's just held that place somehow. I cannot believe he's still got that place, and now Ladosi's trying to get through as well. He's just waiting for that chance, and it looks like surely it's going to come for him in the next couple of laps. And a big lock up there from Geordie, and Aiden's hit the back of him, and now he's going to try and go down the inside. He's got DRS open, and a little bit further down, Zonix is battling Taipan as well. And there's a 4-car battle that's developed down there as well. So there's 2 huge 4-car battles. By the way, Abyss has a 20-second lead, if you believe it or not. And Tatno just trying to pull the DRS gap away from Geordie. It looks like he is right on the cusp as Geordie picks up a 3-second penalty for warnings. That is going to hurt him. Lap 18 out of 20 now. Aiden still trying to find a way to sneak past. He wants a P2 here. He's got the P3 provisionally at the moment, but he's got Ladosi right on his hammer. And there goes Aiden. Flies through on Geordie, but Geordie is now back in the slipstream. Going to try and make another move here. He's going to go around the outside, but not enough through there. And now Aiden is right on the back of Tatno. And Geordie's still there as well, right on the back of Aiden. So here we go again. With just over 2 laps to go now. Looks like they're all going to hold position. Look how close Ladosi's getting to Geordie there. And Zonix leads the field of Taipan, Goated F1 and Coistra as well. Ladosi, is he going to go for it? He is going to go for it. And he has, I think, made a bit of contact with Geordie there, so it wasn't the cleanest move. But Ladosi is up in a P4, so we'll see what he can do from there. Tatno and Geordie still have damage. Can Aiden and Ladosi find their way through? And that field, Zonix is catching, so the field could increase here, the size of this battle, as we get towards the end of this race. Obviously, with that damage, it's going to slow them down a lot, this whole pack of 4 drivers. And Abyss starting the penultimate lap of this race. And Tatno's now picked up a 3-second as well, so Geordie and Tatno both have 3 seconds. So that's going to help Aiden massively. But Abyss with a 21-second gap. And has just driven his own race so far. But now, here we go down the main straight. Aiden to get past Tatno. It looks like a bit of a free move this time. He's come from P17. He's in P2. Is the Haas driver. What a move from Aiden. And now Geordie back down the inside of Ladosi. And a bit of contact made. Another 3-second for Geordie. And that has hurt him quite significantly. Tatno is trying to make that place back up on Aiden here. And yeah, so significant battling at the moment. There's been a lot of intensity about it. You can tell. Geordie hanging on that P4, but Zonix and Typed have just about gotten into that penalty range of Tatno and Geordie, so they have another position to possibly gain here. They're about to join the back of the fight also. So this could become almost a 6-7 car battle as we enter the final lap of the race. In what has been a very difficult, would be safe to say, afternoon, as Ladosi getting back pass on Geordie Slater. But Geordie Slater's not going to let him go. Fights back again. But the Sauber does have the inside there and should be able to hold it. It's been a tumultuous afternoon, some would describe it. Obviously, the game's still littered with issues. But it's good to see we've still gotten plenty of good racing action out of that qualifying session. Is definitely not one we're going to forget anytime soon. That was just mesmerising performance from some of the drivers. And now Geordie Slater got a lot less downforce. He's going to be able to make that move here for P4. What about Zonix and Taipan here? Are they going to be able to make any impression? It doesn't look like it. And Goated F1 gets past Coistra into 8th. So it looks like Aiden's pulled out a second to Tatno. It's all down to Ladosi here to finish on the podium. He's got to get past Geordie here if he wants to catch up to Tatno. Down the inside goes Zonix. Zonix has just gotten all of them, has he? I think he has. Or not quite, because Geordie's still there as well. But now Zonix is wheel to wheel with Ladosi. And Zonix could yet finish on the podium here. This could be the battle for the podium between these two. And Ladosi has the inside. Zonix has the outside. And looks like he's just hanging on for now. Geordie holding them all up a little bit. And with the DRS open, can there be any late moves made? Aiden looks like to have secured second. And rounding the final corner is Abyss OCE. What a race he has had. It's going to be a 20-second victory and his first in ORL. What a dominant performance for Abyss, and what a way to start the season. A well-deserved race. He was on top pace-wise all day. And that's a great result for him. Meanwhile, we've got battling here. Ladosi and Zonix battling for position. Geordie trying to hang on. Here goes Zonix down the inside of the final corner. Has he got it? It looks like he might have. Ladosi, does he have the better exit? No, Zonix has got it. No, Taipan steams through and gets past all of them. And he's got P4s, Taipan. And then Zonix, and then Ladosi, and then go to F1. Taipan out of the final corner, out of nowhere, gets them both. And Aiden, in the meantime, we didn't mention, picks up a P2. A great fight. What a comeback. 15 places gained. Tatno with P3, and then Taipan steaming from the clouds into P4, Zonix P5, and the two kicks of Ladosi and Goated, they were up there all race long. So it was nicely done from them. And then Geordie Slater, who with that damage struggled, it's safe to say. But Abyss OCE does get that win. And while it does say Aiden is the driver of the day, and he probably... A few people would argue he does deserve it. I think Abyss is my driver of the day with a 20-second victory. That is just unbelievable how he's managed to do that. And yeah, what a finish that was. So your podium is Abyss, Aiden and Tapno. And then the rest follow. Kawista and Grateful Dog rounded out those last 2 points positions. And yeah, so not the easiest day of racing. Thanks for sticking with us to the end if you did. But we did get to see some good stuff on the track at least, despite some of the issues. We did have a pretty good Tier 2 race in terms of not many issues. So hopefully we can continue that into the future. But that's all we have from RL this weekend. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next week for round 2.